I'm Brian. This is
And
my
I'm
wife.
Faith.
This is my wife, Faith. We've been coming to City on the Hill Church now for, wow, it's almost 6 months, I think. Maybe a little less than 6 months. It's incredible to see what God has done through that time, that short period of time. It's incredible. I was called to the ministry about 10 years ago, and I ran very quickly away from that call. I was called to youth ministry. I was given a very specific passage of scripture in Ezekiel 34. That's my entire ministry call, and I ran from it. What not a lot of people realize, and I haven't shared it with a lot, the church that we were going to at the time in Florida, I went to see the lead pastor there and kind of just laid it out on what I had been called to do, and the reception that I got, or the lack of reception that I got, really deterred me from seriously beginning to pursue any kind of ministry call. Well, August 25th of this year, I was called right back to youth ministry, confirmed it with that same scripture, and my wife is with me, and it was just an incredible moment in our lives. And I can remember telling Pastor Tony that, hey, I've been called to youth ministry, I want to talk to you about it. And the reception that I got, it was so encouraging, it was so motivating, and it was also so convicting, because I felt like, man, I wish I would have had that 10 years ago, because I have no idea what would have been 10 years ago. But the reception that I got was just incredible. And then the very next week, he just opens it up and says, hey, Brian, I want you to share this with the congregation. And that moment where I got to share this vision of this youth ministry was incredible. It was very emotional. And when I think about what God has done through Walk It Out Youth Ministries, just in the short span, it's something that I really can't describe. It's something that I would never be able to do without the freedom and the encouragement of the leadership of City on the Hill Church.
Hi, I'm Tim, and this is my wife, Trish. We're the Joneses, and we are the associate pastors here at City on a Hill Church. Our journey here has been really interesting. Both of us come from a long history of ministry, children's ministry, youth ministries. Spent several years in singles ministry. We came here to City on a Hill looking for a place to fit in, a place to where we could find God's call on our life. And knowing that you have a call on your life and not being able to work that out or really come to an understanding what that is, it's really a frustrating place. But when we came here, Tony and Lachey just immediately put a lot of trust and faith in us. And through that trust and that faith and asking us to do certain things, God's call really started to bloom in our lives. And when Tony asked me to be the associate pastor, it was really a startling moment for me, because that's an area I knew I had a call on my life, and I know that I love singles and I love ministering to singles, but I never really thought about being an associate pastor at a church. So it really stretched me. But that's the kind of church City on a Hill is. We go beyond telling people that they have a call on their life. We go to the point of finding out what that call is and stretching even beyond what the person may think that call is. And then even beyond that, we give them the opportunity to put it into action. And that can be a dangerous place sometimes, because people think maybe God's calling them to do one thing and really they need to be going in a different direction. So just having the opportunity to make mistakes and find out that maybe you really didn't hear God's call, but you keep working toward that point is really amazing, because a lot of churches would never do that. They want to see perfection from the beginning. But here at City on a Hill, it's really been different. I know it's challenged Trish and I to be better Christians, to be closer to God, and to really reevaluate what God really means to us and what He's doing. And I can't wait for the next year or 2 years to see, God has done so much in this congregation already in the past year. We've not only multiplied in number, we've multiplied in ministry, we've multiplied in growth, spiritual growth. We've seen families come together, we've seen marriages come back together, and just the multiplication that comes from that is amazing. And we're excited to be part of this, and we're just really excited to see what God's going to do in the next year or 2 years in this church, because I think He really has a great plan for us and a great future for us, and we're really looking forward to what that's going to be.